What's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning back in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. We got Charleston White in the Zoom box for this one. We got Charleston White in the Zoom box for this one. Before I even get started, shout out to my boy Majesty with the iLight Network. He made this happen. That's like my mentor. He be promoting for me. He be marketing. He be doing all that. My boy Majesty from iLight Network be working. And that is a fact. Salute, bro. And I appreciate everything you do for me. Without no further ado, we're going to get right into this interview. Introduce yourself, bro, and tell the people where you from.
Man, this is Charleston White, man, by way of Fort Worth, Texas.
All right. Fort Worth, Texas. And you guys probably seen Charleston White on a bunch of different platforms. Very outspoken, speaks his mind, does not bite his tongue. You guys have probably seen him on a bunch of different platforms. I'm gonna get right into this interview, man. Let's speak on. I seen the interview you did, man. And your story is very interesting, man. You're from Fort Worth, Texas, the hood.
Yes, sir.
You've been to jail. You caught a murder at a very young age.
I ain't from the hood, man. I ain't never lived in the hood. My mother made it out the hood. So by the time I was in the second, third grade, we was living pretty much a financial life of prominence, an affluent life. So I have no recollection of a hood life of growing up.
Okay. Well, with that being said, how did you end up in the hood?
You got cousins live in the hood. You got your grandma live in the hood. Most of our families don't make it out the hood. So we still have to go back to the hood to go to church, to go visit our family members. And then our culture is hood. Everything about our culture is hood mentality. So it was introduced through the culture. I had uncles who was gangster, who was street. So I spent a lot of time with my uncles, my cousins, my aunts, weekends over there. So you adopt those ways and those behaviors and those mentality by going to visit your hood family.
Got you. And before we get into the prison system, I want to ask you a few questions. Because I watched some of your other interviews. When you grew up, did you have a little racism in you towards white people?
Yeah, all black people did in the 70s and the 80s. We just come out of slavery. We just come out of the civil rights. Dr. King had just died in the 60s, right? I was born in 77. So the sentiment of black people was, yeah, we were racist, homie. And we was just starting to migrate amongst white people, right? So in the 70s, black people really didn't live amongst white people. My mother moved out around white people in the early 80s. So all we know is you do to them. You don't do to your own. You don't do. We didn't brutalize each other, homie. We wouldn't brutalize them. We fought the Mexicans. We had fights with Asians. So that was normal for black people to be racist or we can't be racist because we're not in power, but to have a prejudice mindset and to resent white people for what they've done to our people.
Okay, got you. And with that being said, did you commit any crimes against white people?
Yeah, nigga, we did all kind of things. We robbed white folk, we raped white girls. And what I mean by raping white girls, homie, one nigga, she want to sleep with one of us, but we go run a train on her. We go get her drunk. We go get her high, as most dudes do. Hey, can I buy you a drink? And nigga, in some cases, she gonna be saying no, but we all gonna be standing her, pressuring her, and she gonna give in to the pressure. That's rape. Niggas don't want to look at it like that, but when you listening to the culture, the rappers promoted rape.
Got you. Okay.
The cartoons, the skunk, Pepe the Pew, he was raping the skunk girl. So men took pussy back in our, men was brutal. Look at the movies like The Color Purple. That's what men did. Not saying it was right. It wasn't frowned and shunned upon. A bunch of college boys, bunch of frat boys get one girl. Come on, homie. That's common. But won't nobody admit it. So we did that. We snatched old white women purses. If the old white woman didn't let it go, we punched her, kicked her. If she fell on the ground, we kicked her in the face and ran off laughing. We robbed stores where white people worked in. We broke into our white friends' houses. We didn't break into. So all of my crimes coming up as a kid, when I left my mother's house, we listening to the old niggas. Man, you go rob them white folks. When you get a job, you steal on the job. When you go to the white folks store, you punch a hole in the milk and you do a slip and fall so you can sue. Everything was predicated to them what we resented that they had done to our ancestors. So this is prior to gangbanging. This is prior to hood movies like Boys in the. This is when, nigga, we was black people. And we didn't look at each other and say, man, let's rob him because he's doing good. Man, let's wake up and go to them white folks' neighborhood and steal. So yeah, homie, I had a criminal mind toward white folks, homie.
Okay, and how old was you when you started gangbanging?
I was 14 years old when I entered into the juvenile system, as most kids join gangs. Most kids don't become gang members on the streets, homie. For the most part, we come from good homes. And
gotcha.
our mothers, you see what I'm saying? So they didn't embrace it. So you go into the juvenile system and you meet kids from over there, You meet kids who come from neglectful homes and they have bad ways. And it becomes appealing because you had never saw it or you saw it on television and you have a young, impressionable mind. So everything impresses you, especially a boy who can do things you can't do, like smoke, stay outside. There was some boys who could stay out all night long, homie. We had to go in the street, homie. And I wanted to be like them boys, but I didn't know they was homeless. I didn't know they was being abused and they had to be out there. And my mother had concern about us playing with children like that because of what they're exposed to. They exposed to things that we're not exposed to because I come from a loving, good, nurturing home. So my mother moved out the hood, homie, and wasn't no gangs big in the 90s, in the 80s. It was just starting to come about. When I got locked up, homie, the movie Boys in the Hood that was just coming to the movie theater. New Jack City was still showing. So we hadn't heard we hadn't really saw that. So my mother escaped that reality. So when I started getting in trouble, I started getting exposed to it. I saw the movie Colors. That was my first exposure. Then when I went to Juvenile, I got to see it up close and personal. And it became appealing coming from a single parent home. Coming from a home where you've never been spanked by a man, you've never been disciplined by a man, you never had a man correct you, you never had a man hug you, you never had a man say, I'm proud of you, you never had nobody say, man, oh man, you my little nigga. So you never had that. So when you get the attention of the gang and the big homies, oh man, I like little homie, he got heart. Man, those are words that your father would speak to you. So that's appealing. You long for this connection. You long to be a part of something. So when I got in Juvie, homie, and I got exposed to the gangbanging culture, say, nigga, it was everything I was looking for. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, the fighting. I get to prove myself. I get to earn a name. You know what I'm saying? So nigga, I earned the name C-Nut because I was a nut, nigga. I was a fool. They called me, man, that nigga a nut, man. And nigga, I lived up to the name.
I got you. So let me ask you this. So
go ahead.
So you came from a place of prominence. So you basically placed yourself in the hood life.
Man, I didn't place myself in it, homie. My mother had to go to work. The black culture presents hood life to black children. Why do you think there's so many kids in middle-class neighborhoods acting ghetto? Why do you think there's so many middle-class kids joining gangs? And you be saying, man, that ain't really you. Why you think in these prominent communities, they got the most gangster kids? We got to go learn that, homie. because the black community don't make you feel like you real if you come from prominence. They're gonna say, oh man, your mama, you were born with a silver spoon. So they're gonna discredit you.
The black community does do that. Hit that like and subscribe button, man.
The black community is gonna shame you because your mother had good credit. Your mother had you walking on marble floors, and they mother made them get it out the mud. Nigga, I got it out the mud, nigga. The black community will shame you if you hadn't been to prison. They'll tell you, oh, nigga, you ain't never been to prison. You couldn't have made it down there. So they'll make you feel like you're not man enough because they went to prison and made it, and you made right choices and decisions and didn't go. So the black community make you have to go through hood training so you can be black and to be a black man and stick your chest out and say, yeah, nigga, I'm real. How you real? Nigga, what hood you come from? Nigga, where you from? Oh, nigga, you ain't come from the South Side. Nigga, we was killing. So my city name Murder World. Nigga, you come from Lancaster. So they gonna shame you. So that's the problem with Yella, Beezy and other artists that don't come from the ghetto, but they want to rap. They gonna say, what hood you from, nigga? You ain't never been locked up, so you can't rap gangster. So I'm watching this as a kid, homie, but because my mind is impressionable. I want to be accepted, and I want to fit in as a black boy, and I also want to grow up to be a black man. So I started seeing as a kid, when my Uncle Wayne got out of prison, or got out of jail, or Curtis, or Uncle Curtis, Naki, and Jeffrey, when they got out of jail or prison, I saw how the hood threw parties for them, huh? They was celebrating. And then I saw with my cousin Tashay, when she graduated from Sam Houston High School, homie, and she threw a party. Did nobody show up at her party? Nigga, Uncle Wayne had limousine. People was handing him stacks of money. So the next time I seen Uncle Wayne, he was in a Rolls Royce with 3 yellow hoes, pimping strong, beating bitches. And I see he walking around with briefcases, and I see at the family reunion, I see how the family respond to the nigga sell dope. I see how the family treat the pimp compared to how they treat Uncle Joe, who get up and go to work. They shit on Uncle Joe, the working man. So I saw this, homie. So I saw that in the family. So then when you look out in the community, I saw how gangsterism and street niggas is celebrated and respected compared to the nigga who do right. Remember Calvin? Remember McDonald's started showing the commercials in the 90s, and they had the black dude Calvin, and Calvin would get up and every day walk to work, and he was walking to McDonald's, and the people in the streets were high-siding on Calvin. Nigga, Calvin wasn't a good look for a black boy. Why you think it ain't no black boys owning no McDonald's now? Because nobody wanted to be Calvin. They talked about Calvin. They laughed at Calvin. So, homie, I'm seeing this. So when I turn on my television, I see how pimps is celebrated. The black exploitation, Dolomite, the Mac, the Fly. Man, I'm seeing the black exploitation era. So then here come the 80s, dope, gangster rap. The working man was shunned and shamed. I don't want to be like, I ain't never seen a man get up and go to work. So I don't want to be like that. I thought the man, I seen Uncle Curtis earning his clothes in the middle of the day, nigga, in his boxer drawers, smoking weed. I saw Uncle Wayne in the middle of the day telling the bitch to do something, whooping a woman in the middle of the day, smoking weed, getting clean in the mud with pockets full of money. They wasn't getting up going to work. Children mimic what they see and repeat what they hear. I saw women get up and go to work. They was the hard working. Women was so, I don't know nothing about working. I know about making a woman work hard. And I stay back at the house and bullshit, get high and talk shit, ride around in the car, looking pretty, fucking with bitches all day while the woman out working. That's what I was taught. I wasn't taught that, but that's what I saw. My mother tried to teach me something different, but I said, yeah, Mama, I heard what you saying, but I'm watching these men in the black community. And so when I cut on my television, it's promoted in the culture of black culture. When I put on my music, homie, on my headphones, it's propagated in the music. So where I get it from, black culture teaches you to go to prison. If you smart in school, you better not raise your hand. If everybody go laugh at you, think you trying to be white. He a nerd. Oh man, he answering all the questions. Oh, he think he better than us. So you better not try to be better than black people, or you'll be shamed, and they'll reject you, and they'll shun you, and some people will hurt you. So you better not try to elevate past the hood, or if your mama made it past the hood, you better go try to be like your nigga cousins in the hood. If you want to go visit your cousins and have peace with them, You better not try to be better than what your mother and them tried to make it out of, or they won't accept you. And we all want to be accepted by our people. Stop me when I'm lying, my nigga.
Nah, man, you speaking, man. You speaking, bro. I appreciate that. Hit that like and subscribe button, man. Florida Prison Talk. Boy, Charleston White. We here. Let me change it up a little bit before we get back into that.
I grew up believing going to prison was a part of manhood, so I wanted to go, nigga.
Damn.
Uncle Wayne went, Granddaddy went, Uncle Curtis. Every nigga, every man I ever been exposed to went to prison, homie. Went to jail. And nobody, I ain't never heard nobody come back from prison and tell me anything bad about it. They tell me how they made it, nigga. They didn't tell me how they cried. They didn't tell me they were scared. They didn't tell me if they got raped. They didn't tell me if they had thoughts of fucking a punk. I ain't had one nigga come back and say, yeah, man, I thought about it, but I didn't do it. I ain't had one man. I'm sorry, I had one. Say, yeah, I almost went to a nut club, but I didn't. Out of hundreds of men, I've never had a man say, yeah, nigga, I almost did it, but I didn't. So how do you teach the young boys how not to do it? What principle, what constitution do you have as a male boy to go into a man's system of oppression and stand on principles of a man, and you a boy who come out your mama house? That's why so many niggas go in there and get their ass up and fuck her ass, because there's no constitution, there's no principles, because you a boy that come from a mother's teachings, and now you got to enter into these men's world where they predators and preys and all kind of shit.
Yep, I hear that, bro.
You see what I'm saying? You want me to come out here? I just left my mama house. I'm hurt. I need my daddy. I feel rejected by him. I feel unloved by him. I feel abandoned by every man that ever entered into my life. Now I'm out in the streets as a boy trying to play a man, looking for a man, and you want me to stand on street principles, but I come from my mother's house. Ain't nobody taught me no street shit. So now when the police get me, y'all saying, man, you got to stick to the code. Who done taught me the codes? Who done taught me what to do? Mama get down there. Mama say you tell them white folks the truth. Grandmama get down there and say, son, just be honest, the truth. Why you think so many niggas break? Because all they know and all they been taught as they kids, everybody go get a whooping till y'all say who done it. You was taught to be honest. You was taught to be an honest person. You don't know nothing about being street. And that's what's happening to the black boys that's getting in trouble, homie. We come from pretty good teachings. We come from Christian values and morals and some type of religious factions that our mothers or grandmothers have taught us. And we reject that based on our pain and our hurt as young men from whatever our child issues were, right? Our child experiences were. We come outside the house, leave mama porch. We make decisions based on our feelings, our impulse. We're not logic and human beings when we leave mama house. We're not reasonable boys. We fucked up. And then we got rap music. We fucked up, homie. So how you think, nigga, my black culture is dysfunctional? My black culture promotes detriment. My black culture upholds and propagates negative values. I can't help but go against the good my mother tried to give me. If I want to be a boy and I want a girlfriend and I want niggas to be my friends and I don't want to be picked on and I don't want to be shunned and rejected and bullied and talked about, I better embrace this negative shit.
Gotcha. All right. Hit that like and subscribe button, man. Y'all see what's going on here. I appreciate Charleston. Check this out.
Say, man, I'm sorry I'm driving. I'm trying to speed to my location, nigga, so I can sit still and nigga, we can really chop game. Okay.
So check this out, though, Charleston. Speak about the crime that led you to prison. Walk the viewers through what happened that day.
Man, my mother was pregnant with my sister. So I was the youngest boy. So it was me, my brother, and me. So then I was 13, 14. I was 13 when my sister was born. So I was dealing with the fact of a new child coming in. I'm pre-adolescent, going through the pre-adolescent stage. I don't have an identity as a boy. So I had an older brother that was already in the criminal elements of society. In and out of the boys' home and juvenile facilities. I had already seen my uncles. So now I'm rebelling, right? man, it's a new baby in the house. My brother had been getting all the attention because he in trouble. So I fly under the radar because he in trouble. But I'm really the motherfucker. But I'm the baby boy. I'm the charismatic one. Yes, ma'am. I'm only bad away from home. So I'm flying under the radar. But nigga, I'm a terror because all the attention on him. Then now here come the new baby. So goddamn me, man, I run away from home, man. Going through the pre-adolescent stages of life, rebelling, being resentful. Thank you, mama and them don't know. Want to stay out late because you got friends who got mamas let them stay out late. You fucking, you getting you some pussy, you stealing cars. So now you're mischievous. You're not criminal, you're mischievous, right? You're a mischievous kid. And now your mischievous behavior have turned delinquent, right? So juveniles are delinquent. That's why they call them juvenile delinquent. They're not criminal. Right? This is really boy behavior, right? It's just delinquent walking the line of criminality if you do this as an adult, right? So you don't criminalize delinquent behavior. So I'm delinquent, homie. But I'm hanging with niggas that's criminal because they gotta survive. They mama's on dope. They ain't delinquent. This really what they gotta do, homie, to wear shoes. So I run away from home, man. Just rebelling, man. Don't want to do what mama say do. And I go connect with some guys that we went to school together, but we wasn't friends. All my friends was, you know, I went and connect with the guys that I could get in trouble with, but we wasn't friends. And man, just I'm a natural born leader. So just having the criminal mind, being around Uncle Wayne, listening to Uncle Curtis, internalizing rap lyrics. I used to write them down so I can memorize them and act on them. And it gave me an edge over other children who couldn't listen to that music, right? I had my own room, so I can go in there and listen all I want to. Steal Uncle Boosie rap tapes with the parental advisory on it. And I can go to school and rap songs that they don't hear and say I made it up. And it'd be, you know what I'm saying? So it made me a leader, homie, being around grown folks. Because back then, most kids couldn't be around grown folks. Get out of here, get it from around. So they couldn't mimic grown folks' behavior, but I could. I could repeat grown folks' shit. Children mimic what they see and repeat what they hear. Right? So whenever you hear, they mimicking and repeating. So always watch and listen when you're around children. So I run away from home, homie, and I go connect with a nigga who had been to TYC. I connect with a nigga who mom let him do whatever. And then I connect with a good kid who was the only child. And he had a job. He was good in school. He had his own car. He worked for Red Lobster. All the girls liked him. So I stayed at his house, man. And my mom was the type of mom, she go come at your house. She go everybody's house looking for me. Where he at? Is he over here? And one mom will lie and say, nah, he ain't here. And I'll be here. That's the mama that condone our wrongs, right? So I ain't got no money. One of the partners sell dope. Two of them sell dope. The other one got a job. I ain't got no money, homie. I done ran away from home. My brother looking for me. So we decide we was gonna go out that night. We was going to a teenage club called Tingles. Shit, I need some clothes. I need something to fly again. My mama dressed me nice. So man, hey man, let's go run off, go to Foot Locker and run off with some starter jackets. But before then, we break into my girlfriend's house. I take them over to my girlfriend's house. Her dad was a Dallas police officer. So we go over there and break into her house, get the Nintendos, the Ataris, the VCRs. Man, we got a whole the television, stumble up on 2 guns. We got this police bulletproof vest with the DPD on it. Found the blue tip hollow points. We hit a nice lick. So we go get some older boys, 19, 20, we all 14, 15, 16. And 2 was 15 at the time. One turned 16 the next day. So we go get some older guys to go pawn everything for us. So now we got money. Man, let's go get some jackets. The money for the club, the weed. So now let's go get us some starter jackets, some hats. Come on, man. So I'm the youngest out the clique, homie, but I'm the brains in the bunch. All this is my idea. Hey, man, let's go do this. I'm mischievous. And my mischievous, I'm delinquent now, right? I'm the wild card, homie. All them at home. I'm running away from home. So I'm just wild. I'm just on a little crime spree, man. So we go to the mall, and it was a nigga working when we went inside the Foot Locker, and he looked like he can run fast. So I'm like, nah, man, we'll wait. And you know, one thing about criminals always look for an easy target. They always look for the weak. They look for something that look like prey, you know, kind of like hyena, you know, the giraffe with the hurt leg. So we go to the game room, play video game, kill about an hour or two, and it's in the middle of the day. We supposed to be at school. So we go back, and same guy working, so we leave. So nobody really wants to do it, but I'm anxious to do it, homie. I get a rush as a kid. That was the thrill, homie. The rush out of doing wrong. And then the lack of understanding of what you're really doing, right? And the consequences of what comes with this. So we go drop them 3 off. We go drop them 2 off. And I tell DJ, say, man, let's go over here to Denarcus' house. Because I would go get Denarcus to drive the car while we run in and get the jacket. So we go over there to Denarcus. Denarcus was one of my older partners. He used to cut our hair. He was cutting my homeboy Tawan hair. Tawan was from New Orleans. Tawan Harris. Tawan was a nigga that was in and out of Juvenile too. He was always in trouble at school. So he cutting Tawan hair. So I tell him what we want to do, what we finna do. They said, yeah, but come back and get us. After let me finish Tawan hair. That saved their life, homie. So I'm anxious, man. No, so I go back and get Big Twan and Little Twan. And so we go to the mall. The plan was, Little Twan will go stay in the car. Hey, homie, this is my little brain, man. When I look back on my life, homie, I've always had a gift of influence and leadership, right? I'm a little bitty dude. So I literally plan this shit, homie, from front to back. Not knowing what I'm doing, homie. So I say, Lil Twan the slowest, right? He stay in the car, me, DJ, and Big Twan go in. So we go in the Foot Locker, we trying on hats, trying on jackets. We in the mirror looking, yeah, I like this here. And soon as the white boy go to now, soon as one of them went to the back, the white dude stayed up front. The other dude looked like he run fast. He was gone. It was a new ship.
Okay.
We should have done it on his ship. That white boy was fast in the motherfucker. Say this. Hey, say that white boy on a nigga's ass. So listen, check this out. So we on that bitch trying on hats and them jackets, and all of a sudden, oh, them niggas run before I'm ready to run. So I got to take out running. Man, that white boy was on a nigga ass. You hear me? And so when we get out to the car, Big Twan dropped the jacket. So he ran back to get it. So he had to run around the car and get in. As we get in, man, the inexperience of us, right? Our victim, which was a guy by the name of Michael Levy, he was working on his car in the parking lot. So this is probably about 11, 12 in the afternoon. There's a girl didn't go to school that day. And her and her mom was just so happened to be at the mall. Mom, I know them. And everybody in the mall parking lot watching this, right? So our victim, Michael Levy, runs and jump on top of the car. He started hitting the windshield. The Foot Locker guy right there, we done threw the jackets out now. My partner in the front, glass coming in his face. We're in a two-door Cutlass. He can't put the car in drive or reverse to go. He done put it in neutral, hitting the gas, not going nowhere. Just the man hitting the windshield. Back in them days, you can cut the car off and take the keys out without it being in park, right? So he reached inside, and that's what he did. I'm sitting in the back seat on the gun. Yeah, this is my gun. My girlfriend, how we broke in, my gun. Big old 357 with blue chip hollow point, nigga, police gun. the glass in his face, he trying to pretend like he don't know what's going on. Sir, I don't know what they did, man. What y'all went in there and did? And I'm thinking, man, shoot this motherfucker. I got the gun back here. So, hey, nigga, get the gun. Shoot that motherfucker. By he looking back, he done reached in and took the keys out. So now he done got off the car. So, man, no, man, let us out of here. So I'm telling my partner, man, shoot that motherfucker. So he get out. No, he don't get out the car. I get out the car first in the back seat, push up. Say, man, give us back them keys. So as I'm getting out, my partner, Torn, getting out. He walking around to my side. Now, as he walking to the back of the car, the Foot Locker guy see the gun. He take off back running inside. Everybody just looking. We so tunnel vision, homie. We don't see nobody. We don't see everybody, all these people in this parking lot, homie. We tunnel vision, children. So by the time he get next to me, I done told the white boy to give us back the keys, right? He don't see the gun. But his reply was, if y'all want these keys back, y'all gotta wait for the police to get here. Man, shoot that motherfucker. Say, homie, I was on a year of probation at that time. Before this crime, I was on a year of probation for shooting at some white people, for calling me a greasy nigga at a Pizza Hut, right? Right before school started, me and this dude was dating the same chick, this pretty Puerto Rican chick named Adrian DeJesus. Man, she was beautiful. Little nigga named Lawrence, went to Martin High School. I saw him over on our side of town one day. I used to be a car thief, steal cars and keep them. I saw him and his homeboy riding bike, getting ready to go see Adrian. And I tried to run them niggas over while they was on them bikes. Boom, 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 run them niggas over. And them niggas' mama and them went and pressed charges on me. So I get locked up for that. So my mother begged them because she saw the trajectory the direction I was going into. She begged them to send me somewhere, homie. But I was a very charismatic child. And I was frail and, very, and back then they used to slap us on the wrist for crime, right? We're the first generation. I fell in the first generation of children, not just in Texas, but outside of California, Chicago, and New York. Children didn't kill in America. That's late 80s, early 90s, where they came out and said, hey, we got a wave of children that may be super predators. They commit some violent murders and they big, they fat. So I'm in that first generation of children, right? So prior to that, it was unheard of for us to be committing these violent crimes. So, man, they was slapping me on the wrist. So when I run them niggas over, I get locked up. Detectives come to my house, pick me up, and school had just started. My mother begged for them to send me somewhere, homie. But the judge released me so I can go enroll for school. Then a week later, I come back for capital murder. Man, we could easily beat that man up. We could easily say, hey, man, get away. We had the keys. He threw us back the keys. Man, shoot that motherfucker. Shoot that motherfucker. Pow! One shot. One shot, homie. Ended that man's life. And we watched him die. I stood right there and looked at it so I can see what death looked like.
Damn.
And laughed. Nigga, we shot that motherfucker. Hell, nobody give a fucking with us to make everybody laugh. But it was a solemn feeling, homie, when we all got back in that car. It's like we entered into another world. It's like when that happened and we all got back in that car, it's like we were watching one movie and all of a sudden we in a whole nother world. And it was like we spiritually, homie, we entered into a realm. And it took a long time to come out of that realm, homie. Because when you're responsible for taking a life, you owe a debt. You can pay your debt to society. But nigga, you owe a debt to that life you took. So niggas hear me brag, and I wouldn't say brag, but if the wrong nigga get in front of me, talking tough and playing tough, I'll remind him that he ain't never killed no white man. He don't know what it's like to watch one die. Nigga, you been killing your own. I ain't never had a heart to kill my own. I ain't never I ain't never forced no black girl in no training situation. We did that to white girls, homie. We courted black girls. We may pinch their booty and pull their hair, but we wasn't trying to train them and force them into training situation. But though I wasn't hateful, my mother didn't teach me to hate white people. I inherited that from black people, the old black people from the 60s and the 70s who had so hateful white people. Sitting around listening to the old blacks talk about don't trust white. You go across the railroad tracks and do this. You don't do this here. We was instructed if we go commit crime, you go across the railroad track, boy. Better not catch you breaking and mismarrying them house. Everybody around here do something to you. You throw some trash and pee on that cone. You go over there and act like that, nigga. So that's what we did. And when we got around white folks, we ran down their neighborhoods. Sadly, so did we ran down our own. But let me say this, right? So I commit this murder. I have no empathy. For one, I'm too young to understand. I lack brain development to understand, nigga, we really took a life. Man, you wasn't a shooter. Say, man, have you ever held a gun and somebody say, shoot that motherfucker? I didn't understand, homie. I thought that's what we were supposed to do. Go out and do shit to white people. Mama trying to teach me how to be a good man based on what a woman, but all these old niggas that I sit around and listen to and go over there. So that's why you don't expose your children to certain type of man that'll teach them bullshit. Because they'll inherit their poverty mindset. They'll inherit their anger. Man, them white folks ain't gonna let you do that. Man, them white folks won't let them. So they'll inherit the failures of the generation before them sitting around listening to the wrong motherfuckers like me, homie.
That's right.
So when I go into this juvenile system, man, I'm mama's baby boy.
Hold on, stop real quick. What, just for the viewers, what age was you when this happened again?
14.
You was 14 when you was 14 on that day that guy died.
On that day, I was 14 years old, homie. I had just flunked the 8th grade.
Okay, so let's speak on the juvenile system now. You, how much time did you get? Go into that aspect.
I got 12 years. I got 12 years at the age of 14. So on my 18th birthday, the court had 3 options: to parole me, where I go home and I be on parole until my 21st birthday, transfer me into the adult prison system. So now I got an adult prisoner number and I got a conviction now, or recommit me back into the juvenile system and I stay in the juvenile system until I'm 21 and age out with a sealed record.
Gotcha. I'm gonna get back into that part. Let me speak about when you first went in there. You joined the gang when you got to juvenile?
Not when I first got there. Okay. I sat back and peeped first, right? So, nigga, I already knew what to do when I got there. My uncles done told me all the prison story. Remember I told you ain't nobody told me nothing bad about prison. I already knew. I had my walk already. I'd already seen colors, nigga. I had my walk down already. I had my face. I had the look. I already knew how to respond. My uncles and them, nigga, I done been taught, nigga, how to do this. I just didn't want to be there that long, homie. I wanted to go. I just flunked the 8th grade. If nothing else, when I get out, they automatically put you in your right grade. So if nothing else, nigga, I wanted the experience. I just didn't want to be there all my teenage life, man. But I didn't know. So when I got there, homie, it took me a year before I started. But no, I stood on my own a year before I joined, my nigga.
So okay, you say you stood on your own a year before you joined. When you got into that juvenile facility, was it a lot of violence going on there?
Yeah, it was rocking and rolling. It was ages 12. It was ages 12 to 21.
Damn,
that's
a big
gap. And they didn't separate the ages.
That's crazy. So what kind of things is happening to you when you get there? Or what kind of things are you doing to people?
Well, it ain't what you're doing to people. Because everything's gang affiliated. Everything's gang banging at this time. This is the early 90s. This is the introduction to gangs, to prisons, jails, juveniles. So niggas all about gang banging. So when you get there, for one, you got to develop your own stature that you can stand on your own. Back then, nigga, You wasn't finna just join the gang and you weak. The gang's picked out for the strong niggas. I was a little nigga with heart. Nigga, I was grown. I know how to respond, nigga. So I went in ready to fight. I already had a plan. My brother told me right after court, say, nigga, don't go down there and let them niggas punk you. My brother had already been a Juvie. Now I'm grown for this. I already know to fight big niggas. All my fights is big niggas. That's why you don't hear one video, homie. As much shit as I've been talking for over a year, it ain't one video of a nigga saying, man, I used to beat him up. I used to punk him when he was locked. It ain't one video, homie. It's niggas that made videos that was locked up with me. And when they ask questions about me, nigga, you can't find one nigga to say, nah, man. Nah, that little nigga was the truth, homie. I ran that shit, homie, because I had charisma for one. And then I grew up sitting around grown people. I knew how to talk grown. I had grown mannerism because I was mischievous and I was delinquent. So when all the other kids was outside playing, grandmama and them and mama and them were telling me to come in the house because I was getting into shit. So I learned to go in and read books, homie. I was an avid reader as a kid. I realized most niggas was dumb in school. They couldn't read, they couldn't write their letters. So that propelled me.
Got you.
So I've been remember this is what the newspaper described me as. The smallest of the bunch, but the brains of the bunch.
Mm.
I'm the pinky in the brains everywhere I go, homie. I can be the smallest nigga. I wasn't the toughest. I can always outthink, homie. I can always outthink what's around me. That's been my gift. I can assess and I can psychologically outthink the bigger guys.
Let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this. Being that it's a juvenile facility, was you guys just fist fighting or was kids in there making weapons at age 12?
Say, homie, we had locks, we had radios, we had girls, we had an indoor swimming pool, we had an indoor gym, we had a game room, we had a weight room, we went to school, we went off campus for college courses, we had weekend passes, niggas worked at Sonic off campus, niggas worked at Pizza Hut, we had college students that used to come take tours. It was a weapon. Nigga named George Anderson snuck a gun in the back of a radio, nigga.
Damn.
The staff, the guards was getting raped.
What?
The guard, Miss Simpson got raped. The guards was getting raped. Nigga getting stay home in school. The Catholic priest was getting tied up and getting his keys snatched and they running through the gate with his car. And nigga, and I'm telling you, and you can't find now, say, homie, I ran the facility. I'm the most legendary kid to come out that facility because I went in there playing. I remember I told you I done watched all the movies. I was playing and mimicking, homie.
Let me ask you this. You said that you grew up racist and stuff. You grew up committing crimes against white people. So when you got into the juvenile system, did you do the same thing to white people when you got there?
Gang banging, nigga. Nigga, gang banging was there at the door. When I got introduced to gang banging, it was no longer about white people, nigga.
Okay.
It was all about hating your own kind. Gang banging didn't teach hate white people. Gang banging taught you hate black because he got this color on and he from here. So when I got introduced to gang banging, but when I got to this, let me just say this. In jail, in juvenile, if I got a bad phone call with my mama, I got off the phone and beat up a white boy. If I'm having a bad day, the white boy is getting beat up in juvenile hall. The white boy can't play basketball. But this in juvie, when I go to the state maximum security juvenile prisons, it ain't about beating up the white boy. We used to beat up Mexicans too, homie. Anything that wasn't black, nigga, you get done. So I didn't know nothing about nothing else but beating up Mexicans, whites, and anything that not black, being racist to other races. That's all I knew about, homie. When I got in juvie and started hearing about the Crips and the Bloods and seeing the movie Colors, oh, okay. This the acceptance. You don't, nigga, what nigga wasn't beating up skinheads? Nigga was beating up Bloods and Crips. So I want to be accepted with the rest of the boys. Niggas like playing football and basketball. Let me find me a position. I don't know what team I'm gonna be on, but I'm gonna get me a position.
Let me ask you, it almost seemed like, man, like prison, it was fun to you. Was it fun to you?
It was. Yeah, it was. I didn't go to prison. I went to a juvenile facility. Didn't you hear me just say we had girls in there? We had off-campus passes. We can work in Sonic, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Burger King. We had an indoor swimming pool. We had furloughs. We can go home on the weekend. That wasn't prison. That was a nurturing environment for children to grow in.
Got you. And you said that you stood alone on your own for about a year before you joined the gang.
Yeah.
What made you join the gang? Tell me about that day you joined the gang.
It was everything I was looking for, homie.
So you woke up one day and say, you know what, I'm ready to go.
When I first saw the movie Colors, homie, I wanted to be a part of it.
Right, but what made you wait a whole year to join them, though? That's what
I had never been exposed to it.
Okay.
Listen, homie, you talking about 1991. What no gangs? Only in California. How you gonna join a gang if you don't know it?
Right.
You don't know nothing about it. You never seen it except on television.
On television. So check this out, though, Charleston. Check this out, Charleston. Once you joined the gang in the juvenile facility, did your level of violence rise? Did it go up? Did you start doing more things for the gang? What was going on?
The level of violence never rose because we boys, we fight naturally. There's no level of violence with a bunch of teenage boys just going through puberty, masculinity. There ain't no level of violence. Boys gonna fight. And they fighting for dominance, alpha male. Who the alpha? So that's natural. So it became more psychological. Gangs is not about violence and brute. It's a psychological game. Can't beat them big up niggas. I'm 14 years old and this nigga's in there 20. And they've been there since they was 14. And they got niggas big. So it ain't about the level of violence. It's about your heart. Will you fight? If 5 niggas catch you in the gym, will you cower out? When the nigga call you back there behind them walls where the guards can't see you, will you go back there? That's standing on your own. Nigga, I'm 14 years old, weighing 75, 80 pounds, nigga, with one eye. And I turned into I evolved, homie. Not because I was my level of violence, because the authenticity and the realness of what I represent by myself, homie. Away from my mama, away from my brother, don't know nothing about no gangs, nigga, none of that shit. I don't know nothing about it. I come from a good home, my nigga. So I gotta start acting and pretending like most kids do. They act and pretend. Based on what they saw and based on what they're exposed to. And nigga, I've been exposed to some shit. And nigga, I was able to act and pretend. You see what I'm doing on Facebook and Instagram and all that shit with this character, been captivated. So imagine me as a kid, nigga. And that's the survival. That's your survival skill. And I ain't scared.
Got you. And you was locked up from what, age 14 to 21?
To 21, yeah. So
wow,
when I left, I had been locked up longer than any kid in the state of Texas when I left.
Wow. Let me ask you this. Being locked up that long from age 14 to 21, from an adolescent to basically an adult, when you got out, was it hard for you to adjust out here? Yeah,
I was still adolescent. You get locked up at 14, you come out at 21. You see that big old gap? You see that big old gap. You have no life experiences. I didn't go to high school, no proms, no dating. All I know is a structured environment. And I thrived in that world. I had a name. I was somebody in that world. Nigga, I could snap my fingers and get you jumped on. I can nod my head, nigga. I was like John Gotti in that motherfucker. Nigga, I had power. Only to come home to a new world where good looks don't mean anything. Being cute don't mean anything anymore. Man, girls like guys with money. They like guys who can talk. And I didn't have no conversation, homie. Mentally, I was still 14. I didn't know how to talk to girls. I didn't know how to ride the bus. I didn't know which way was north, south, east, or west. I had no concept of direction. So my culture reshaped me, homie. The youth facility spent over $150,000 a year rehabilitating me for 7 years. You do the math.
That's right. And okay, with that being said, when you knew you was going home, was you nervous about leaving that facility, going home back into the civilian world?
And when I got out, I wanted to go back.
Damn.
When I got out, I wanted to go back, homie. I wanted to hit the reset button and go back in there, because this was too much for me. When I got out here, homie, and I got sick, it wasn't no sick call for me to sign up on. I ain't know what to do. When I was in there, if I got sick, homie, I put my name on a sick call. And when I go to breakfast in the morning, I stop and tell the nurse what's wrong. I ain't had that no more, homie. When I woke up in the morning, I ain't know how to wake up, homie. I had somebody cutting the lights on. Time for y'all to get up. I ain't know how to wake up on my own, homie. I needed somebody to wake me up. When I woke up in the morning, I ain't know what to go eat. I had a menu that told me what I'm gonna eat for breakfast every day. I ain't know what to go eat for breakfast, homie. When I went out to a restaurant, I ain't know how to order food looking at a menu. What you want? Give me what you want. What you like? I don't know what they got. So I had to learn how I had to be re-socialized. Being disconnected from society and normal socialization, you have to be re-socialized. And I had a great support system. The juvenile system just didn't kick me out. I went to a halfway house. I had life skill classes. I was in an independent living program. So I got all I needed to get from the juvenile system. The juvenile system done its job. I got all the counseling. All my childhood issues, childhood trauma had been resolved. Man, they done its job. It's just that when I got out, I came back to a community in 1998, homie. The Black community promoted drug selling. May crack like this, ghetto dope. And even the working guys was working and selling drugs on the side. Even the guys in college was going to college, messing off their financial aid scholarships and grants because they wanted to be the weed man on the college campus. It was the imagery, right? He who controls images control minds. So I came out with that image, homie. Being cute didn't mean nothing. You had to have Tommy Hilfiger. You had to have Dayton's. You had to have a system. You had to have so materialistic things and imagery and the Black community and the Black culture reshaped what the juvenile system, the juvenile system. I still had the foundation. I still had that foundation, man, of what them people gave me in there, homie. So
it seemed like they helped you out a lot. Like you giving the juvenile system a lot of credit. They must have did a great job, man.
I couldn't be this, homie, without them. Nigga, it was Black people in there, homie. I still call them people right now today. I still talk to Mr. Davis, Mr. Mathis, Mr. Jumper, homie. Man, I still talk to them people, homie. And all the niggas I know that went down there, nigga, we love, nigga. If I had to, but it don't exist anymore. I recommend it for kids, homie, but it don't exist anymore.
Got you. And listen, Charleston, real quick. You said that I'm backing up a little bit. You say you became a gang member in there. What did that do for you when you got home? Was it open arms from that same gang on the streets, or did that gang not mean anything when you got home?
It didn't mean nothing, homie, because I was playing for one. By the time when I joined the gang at 15 and I got out at 21, those are two separate brains.
Got you.
And then I spent 7 years in a juvenile facility, right? Getting the best therapy, the best counseling. And if you keep a kid in a positive, nurturing environment, the kid can't beat that environment. You're going to bring out whatever bad, and that kid go evolve to some goodness. So that system changed me, homie. And so now when I get out at 21, I have more of a brain development, right? My prefrontal cortex is starting to form, going into 25. So now I'm saying, man, All these niggas went to prison, homie. For me, gang banging, doing what I said do, homie. And I'm finna get out and forget about him just about, homie. I tried to hold on to him and write him. Then I start hearing about this nigga getting stabbed in prison. Then I start hearing about my other nigga, mama died, then his grandmama died. And man, I started saying, man, them nigga went to prison for me, homie. Them nigga were putting in work because I was calling shots. And man, them niggas been, then I started finding, then time started going by. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years, homie. From when we was kids, these niggas starting to come home. So at 21, I'm gang banging dying out, homie. 98, Tupac then came and killed the gang banging era with the Thug Life talk. Then Master P came, and then Death Row and Mac 10 and all them killed the gang banging. By the time I come home, gang banging dead. So how I'm gonna come home and relive it?
Right, got you. Okay.
So I come home and do what. Keep in mind, homie, I'm doing all my life. I'm doing what the culture do. I'm not making free will on my own. I'm shaped by the culture. He who controls images controls minds. The culture is giving us these images without our fathers. The gangster image that was given to us, homie, as a culture. Gangsterism, gangster rap. We didn't know nothing about gangster rap, homie. It was called rap music, hip hop. They gave us gangster rap, homie. So from all throughout the 90s, all videos was gangster, just without the guns. But somebody was dying. A nigga was behind bars. The gangs, the movies, everything was gangster, homie. Drug dealing a gangster. That's all they gave us. Right. So the culture is shaping me as a kid. Because culture is way more powerful and way more influential and a lot more stronger than your home bringing. Your mom and them can raise you right all they want to. Your mom and daddy can shape. Nigga, your culture is what shaped you. Why you think white people went along with slavery so long and they didn't agree with it? The culture said it. Why you think white folks knew it was wrong, homie, but they ain't gonna go against their culture? And neither are black people. Everything about our culture is negative. There's nothing positive that our culture promotes. Name me one thing that we promote that's positive as a black culture. Nothing. And so the culture is shaping our children. It shaped me. And I'm telling niggas, homie, I put rap lyrics in my head to control my actions because my thoughts has dictated my behavior. And I wanted the lyrics. I wanted to act like the lyrics that I heard. And when I found out that them niggas wasn't nothing like the lyrics, I was heartbroken. Mm. So when I started growing up, homie, I started looking for them rolling 60 streets. Nigga, ain't no rolling 60 street around here. It never felt good hurting black people, homie. Beating up a nigga because he was a blood. It never felt good, but I done it so I can be accepted because the culture say we do this to each other. I ain't gonna say it felt good. It didn't bother me to do wrong to them, homie.
Let me ask you this real quick, Charleston. Let me ask you this. You say you going and doing something against the blood. So when you was in that facility and you was Crip, right?
Yeah.
So you couldn't be around the Bloods without nothing happening? Y'all couldn't coexist together?
No. Nigga, we had it where we outnumbered the Bloods 200-5.
Damn.
So guess what we did? We did like any other savages. We turned Crip on Crip. We stopped fighting Blood and just started fighting Crip on Crip. We just needed something to fight and hurt, nigga.
Damn.
We destructive. We got a destructive culture. So if it ain't no blood, it's Crip on Crip then, nigga.
Okay. With that being said, you said when you came out, it was hard for you to adjust. A lot of stuff was new to you. So with that being said, did you end up going back to prison?
Never been. I have no felony convictions.
So once you came out, you didn't get in no more trouble when you came out from the juvenile.
Yeah. I got in trouble 9 months after getting out. I went to go enroll into the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I had a cousin who was he was going there for political science to become an attorney. And he was the president of the Black Student Association. And He was a square nigga, never got in no trouble. But he wanted the image, right? He wanted to be dope boy, being exposed to his cousins. So I went up there to go and roll, homie. And I let him talk me into getting into the weed game up there, homie. And so 9 months after getting out and going to Fayetteville to enroll in University of Arkansas, we started taking weed up there. I didn't know how much a pound of weed cost. I didn't know how much it weighed. I didn't know it was 448 grams in a pound. I didn't know nothing, homie. I shoot for my cousin. And so 9 months after getting out, man, I got caught with 10 pounds of weed, trafficking drugs across state line.
Damn.
I went to trial. I had a mistrial. After the mistrial, they dropped the gun charges. I had 2 guns on me. They dropped the gun charges, charged me with the 10 pounds of weed, offered me a plea deal of, since I was the driver, they offered me a plea agreement of 5 years deferred adjudicated probation and 6 months in a first offenders boot camp. That 6 months in that first offender boot camp was 50 times worse than that 7 years in that loving, nurturing Texas Youth Commission.
Damn.
Every day it was somebody in your face. Get up. Real military shit, homie. And that's where I realized the importance of discipline, the importance of structure, the importance of your mental capacity, your mental strength, your inner will, your tenacity, your resilience. I tapped into all that, nigga, in them 6 months, boy. Nose to ground push-ups in the pitch. Oh, man. Oh, homie. And I had a desire to go to the military after that, but I couldn't get in because I got one eye.
Well, my bad. I got to stop you. You got one eye. What happened to your other eye?
Playing with a homemade slingshot, man. Mama and them told about playing with pencils and rubber bands. Yeah, the pencil flicked back and stuck me in the eye.
Damn. How old were you?
I was about 5. I was 6 years old. 6 or 7 years old. So I had 9 eye surgeries before I had my eye removed at age 12 in the 6th grade. So I really didn't go to school. I had private teachers. I'm really what people would consider institutionalized. I didn't interact with children. I was always hurt from being mischievous, getting into shit. So then after I have 9 eye surgeries in and out of school from 3rd grade to 6th grade, I catch a murder case from 6th grade to 8th grade was my only really stable years of straight going to school. So then in 8th grade, I catch a murder case at 14. So nigga, I'm what they call, I'm a state baby. But I'm groomed, homie. I'm like a prodigy. Man, them people, man, they ran an experiment. They was running an experiment, homie. And an experiment was so, they did away with it. It don't exist no more. Every nigga I was in that institution with, homie, they went on to prison to run prison. All them niggas, homie, was like leader, man, I'm talking about they became legends in prison. They grew up in the boys' home, right? Spent 3-4 years in juvenile, transferred directly from the juvenile system into the prison system, and end up doing 17 more years, 18 more years, 20 more years in prison, homie, from when they was 12 and 13, and they became mastermind. Say, homie, them people done away with that shit. It don't exist no more. And it's a program called Positive Peer Culture. If I can find a name of them psychiatrists, man, I'll get that program and reinstitute it out here in the free world. It's called resocialization and rehabilitation. Positive Peer Culture. Google it, homie. It was, man, listen, homie, it was a world-renowned program, and it was only in Texas, and people used to come from Britain, all over the world, homie. Sports Illustrated came there, homie. So it don't exist no more.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
At the beginning, you were saying how you was young, you grew up, you had a lot of hate towards white people. You would commit a lot of crimes against.
I didn't have any hate toward white people, homie. Children can't hate. It's impossible for a child to hate anything.
Well, you had a dislike for them, right?
We inherit the hate that our ancestors have. Why do you think black people are still mad about what happened to our ancestors and we've never seen a black person hang from a tree? We inherit that emotion. Why do you think you jump in the car when you see the police? Because your mother and father did that. You inherit that. Why you think you say, man, them white folks ain't gonna let us do that? You inherited that.
That's
So
right.
you didn't, that's not yours. That's given to us. So I grew up, I was born in 77, homie. Dr. King was killed in 60-something. Black folks just got their voting rights in 65. What do you think black folks are talking about in the 70s and the 80s at family gatherings? They ain't high-fiving white folks. Michael Jordan ain't even Michael Jordan then. So what we hearing is us against them. So you behave according to your culture.
Okay, with that being said, Charleston, how do you feel now towards white people?
Nigga, I love Peckerwood. I love white folk. Man, I love the shit out of white people. Nigga, we got to kill a white man. And then white people came back 5-7 years later and say, we forgive you. You know how many niggas ain't forgave their cousins?
Right.
You know how many niggas, if you kill their family member, they'll never forgive you? I started meeting loving and kind white folks in them institutions, homie. I started meeting black people that lied on me and locked you up for no reason. And white folks coming to defend black children. I started seeing white folks with that John Brown spirit that they taught us about in 2nd and 3rd grade. I had a white judge. I had a white lawyer. So you think I'm going to go through this experience in 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, all these white people? I had a white caseworker. And them people were kind to us. People didn't mistreat us. So all the shit that these black people was telling me about white folk go do it, they lied, my nigga. They tricked me. White people ain't that hateful. White people ain't mean. White people ain't trying to wipe us out. Man, we've been tricked, man.
How do you feel about the rap culture, this trap music and stuff?
I hate it. Everything about it is negative. It's not nothing positive about it. And all it is kill your brother, kill your brother, kill your brother. Nigga, we'll kill your mama. We'll shoot up your grandmama house. And won't now nigga turn no bullet toward that white boy. They really want the smoke. Or that Mexican, they really want the smoke.
Let me ask you this, because you very outspoken. Have you always been outspoken as a kid growing up? Okay,
always. Yeah, always. I've always been brutally honest.
Right. Well, how do you feel right now about the black culture as a whole? Do you think we headed in the right direction?
Say, homie, you must not have been paying attention, homie. There's nothing positive about our culture. Ask the black woman about the black man. Watch what she tell you. I don't trust no nigga. Can't no nigga tell me nothing. How we going in the right direction? And the woman leave. How we going in the right direction when the black man that's on stage before the world, his whole stage presence is dissing the black woman? Bitch, suck my dick, suck this dick, come in your face, bitch. And now that the black woman is on stage next to the black man, she said, eat my ass, bottom feeder, fuck you. Who can look at this and say, there's nothing positive about black people? Nothing. You go on the job, black people don't excel on the job. They the ones telling the people at work what they not gonna do today. That's why they ain't in manager position. When you go on the job, you don't see black people sitting at the table like them Mexicans and white folks sharing lunch together. When a black woman come on the job, ain't nobody pulling her in to teach her how to keep the job, maintain the job. They trying to fuck her, or they shunning her, or rejecting her, or just don't like her because they don't know her. And look who's shooting up our neighborhoods, homie. How we going in the right direction? And we got packs now. We killing each other and saying, I'm gonna smoke you, I'm gonna smoke. How we going in the right direction, homie? We need to be put back in slavery. We don't deserve the freedom that we have. We need to hang from trees. Our ancestors before us need to be in the position that we're in, and we should be the slaves. We deserve slavery. Look at us. Look at your state and conditions of black people today and compare us to the people who had to pray to get out of slavery. They didn't deserve that. These people here need to be controlled. They need to be constrained and restrained. How wild and savage we done got as a race of people. The best thing the white boy can do is get a nigga and send him to prison and let prison teach him and raise him. But if you leave him out here, he go destroy the community and everything he touch. And if you let the culture carry on, you go produce a bunch of weak boys and hoes for an industry that want to turn us into weak boys and hoes again. Fuck us when they want to fuck us. Now they ain't just fucking our women, they fucking our boys too. Because our boys ain't as strong as daddy no more. Our boys like dick in the ass too now. The black boy don't even know his testosterone level is the reason he can't think right. He got low testosterone levels starting from age 25, and he wondering why he docile. So nah, homie, we digressing at a rapid pace where most of will be in an extinct population in 40, 50 years. And the most of us will be back in slavery. 25% of us are already in slavery. We got to work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. We don't have no time for our family because everything is dedicated to the job. Employee is the new word for slavery. Public school system, that's the new slave system. Your children don't get a degree and go become business owners. They go replace you as an employee. And they got to beg for that job. And when they get that job, they got an overseer, a Mexican, somebody that don't look like them, overseeing them. We digressing, homie.
Okay, and we're going to close this one up. So what you got going on now? What are you doing now? What is Charleston White doing at this point right now in his life?
Same thing I've been doing for the last 10 years, my nigga, helping young people excel. This internet shit, I stumbled up on this. I just got on here out of community frustrations and aggravation and disappointment of voicing that on social media, and it took off and it propelled me into this big spotlight. And so now, man, I'm playing for the cameras now. I realize I'm funny. They done tricked me into believing I'm funny. So now I think I'm funny. So now I want to play comedian. I done played pimp. I done played Crip. I done played gang. So now I want to play comedian. And so the things that I do on here with the comedian shit goes back to my resources that I still do in the community that I hadn't stopped doing over the last 10 years, helping young people excel in all aspects of their lives.
Really appreciate that, man. And that's what's crazy. This is what I respect about Charleston. He just spoke about what's going on in the Black community, how we digressing. And he's one of the ones that's actually trying to help these kids. You got some people that speak about the community, but they're not doing nothing to improve it. I appreciate this part one, man. If I can get you on for another part two, that'll be great. It's easy winning in Florida Prison Talk. You got anything to say?
You got me pre-booked for part 2, part 3, homie. So
damn, bro, I really appreciate that, bro.
So that's no strings attached, no back end. You got me for 2 and 3, homie.
Damn, bro, I appreciate this interview.
Let me just say this.
Okay.
For 5 days straight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, about 3 weeks ago, I Zoomed a spring break presentation inside of the Dallas County Juvenile Detention Center, the Youth Village, a maximum security facility where they house murderers, right? But they keep them locally. I spent 5 days. I brought in celebrities to come Zoom and talk to these kids. We catered food. We had people fly in from Alabama to cater for all Black people. It's my lowest views on my YouTube.
Damn.
No comments. So when I show the positive things that I do, oh man, we don't want to hear that. So I see that my people are caught up into he who controls images controls minds, right? Confucius said that. So I went and created a character. So once I got pushed out here, I gave my people a character because they don't want to see the positive shit I do, homie. Nigga, they skip by that. If I put a positive title, you'll see it's my lowest views. They want to see the character that I brought to the internet. So now, homie, this character brings money. This character got movie deals. This character got podcast deals. So now I'm giving my people the character. I'm not going to come on here and drop jewels and give all this knowledge because when I give it, they don't want to hear that. So meet me in the community. Email me and say, hey, man, how do I get some of them youth programs? I'll send you the curriculums for free. I sell these curriculums to juvenile facilities, after school programs, $4,800 for 16 weeks for me to come teach this twice a week. And it's highly recommended to all 254 counties throughout the state of Texas by the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. Homie, when I'm talking like that, man, people go to tuning out. They want to hear that ignorant character. So I give the internet, the YouTube, the Instagram, the character. And if you want the real me, man, get at me like you did. Meet me in the streets. Meet me in the community. And then you'll get the real Charleston. But as long as this is on and you watching me, I got to give these people what they need in order to see what they need to see, the conditions of our community. Because no other character is saying, man, look at our conditions. No other character is holding a mirror up and saying, man, look at us. So,
hey, listen, shout out to my boy Majesty with I Light Network. That's my mentor. That's my dog right there.
Already, man, straight up.
I know we're going to be tuned in. And shout out to my boy Charleston White. Easy win. Florida Prison Talk. We out of here.
Black love and black power.